Well, good morning. Actually, I guess it's good afternoon. Just have some thoughts today on discipleship. In the lectionary calendar, we're right around the time of Jesus ascending into heaven and telling his disciples to go into all the world and preach the gospel. And so I've been thinking about that a little bit today. My children's sermon for our church service today had to do with sending an invitation and how we trust the post office for that. To get our mail, when we mail a card, to get our card to where it's going, and how God trusted us to get his invitation to where it was supposed to go when he wanted to invite the whole world to follow him. And I was thinking about that because we've been children's pastors twice. Karen and I have. We've been senior pastor twice. We've been adult ministries pastor once, and so a lot of times a lot of our ministry has been around discipleship and evangelism and specifically, especially with the kids. And I remember some times when we shared some of the stories about our first church in the book "I Must Not Be a Real Pastor." We shared some stories about that then, but it had to do with our experiences kind of with discipleship and being in evangelism and being out in the community. But when we were children's pastors here this time, we're working toward this particular goal. But before, we were almost 4 years at a place, and we after a couple of years, we really had felt like we got the kids moving in the direction that we were wanting them to go, in terms of really internalizing what it is to serve God and love Jesus for themselves. And I was doing a lot of teaching on prayer and a lot of teaching on faith, and I try to teach adults the same things I teach kids, and kids the same thing I teach adults. It's just, sometimes you just have to make it a little easier to understand. And so we were teaching about faith and prayer, and really had developed at our first place that we were children's pastors some really good prayer warrior children. This was in a Methodist church, and we were when we got ready to leave, and we had been approached about becoming a senior pastor. Of course, my pastor at that church knew that we were thinking about making that change, but and nobody else did. But we needed prayer, and we really felt like we needed some prayer. And so one Sunday, I just called all the kids around me. I sat down on our stage. I got the bottle of oil out. They put four or five of them got the oil in their hands, and they started putting it on my head and my shoulders, and I had a couple of them pray out loud. They didn't know what they were praying for, but boy, did they know what they were praying for. I mean, God spoke to them and through them, and to us through them. I remember one little boy, a story was told as I was had been teaching on prayer for a while. His mom told me the story later. He went to his mom and said he was praying for snow, and it snowed. But what he told his mom, he said, "But I forgot what Pastor Tim had been telling me. Pastor Tim says we have to pray specifically what we want. And I prayed for snow, but I didn't get enough snow to play in." So he prayed for more snow. He prayed for enough snow to play in. And he went back to his mom a couple of days later, because they got snow. We got enough snow. This was just outside of Atlanta. We got enough snow for the young boy to play in. But he said, "I'm learning. Pastor Tim said specifically, and I asked for enough snow to play in, but I forgot to tell God I wanted it to be so I could miss school." So he prayed again, prayed for more snow, enough snow to play in, and enough and for it to come on Monday through Friday so he could miss school. And it snowed for 4 days in a row. And so, but that so convinced him of the power of prayer and having faith in his prayer, that a little later on, when his dad was going through a change in jobs and was having to interview for a new job, he went and prayed for his dad before his dad went for an interview. And he prayed for specific things that he didn't know to pray for. He would not have known to pray for. And Dad got the job with all those things in line. And so this child learned the power of prayer. And we had 4 or 5 like that if somebody came into our children's ministry missing a leg, I have no doubt that they had the faith to pray that leg to grow, because that's what they do. They believe. If you tell them that you can believe that, they'll believe that. And so when we needed prayer for things in our life, or prayer for things in our ministry, or when kids needed prayer, we would have the kids pray for each other. And it's neat to see kids grab a hold of that kind of faith, because that's what discipleship really is. go into all the world and teach the gospel. What you need to do is go into all the world and find those who you need to teach and let them grasp deeply what God wants to do with them and in them and through them and for them. And that just kind of some of the thoughts I was thinking of today as I sat around this afternoon. I hope you guys have a great day and look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.